What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. So much to talk about. Markets coming back strong, shaking off the red yesterday. AMC bouncing off a critical level of support and a monster play we called out pre-market. We're going to talk about everything that is going on. Let's get right into it. First off, as you can see, we still have about 40 minutes left until the market closes. The S&P strong, the NASDAQ staying above that psychological $15,000 level. It is continuing to rise all day. Going into tomorrow, we do have a retail sales update at 8:30 in the morning. Let's take a look at the SPY just to see the same pattern is continuing. I've been talking about that 50 moving average, and as you can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It didn't quite touch that 50 at the moving average, which would have been a price of about 441. As you can see here, that happened back in August 19th. It was the same thing, stayed a little bit away and recovered. If you can see tomorrow, this curl continue to add to it, expect this to move to the upside. And if I was a betting man looking at this charts, we would break above that 454 level and make all-time highs, as we have continued to do. Investors are not done squeezing this easy money policy and are going to continue to keep these markets going strong, at least for the short term. So the next 2 days will be crucial to see if we see that curl happening. If we don't, like I said, expect it to touch down to that 50 moving average. If you really look at what's been going on, I'll zoom out real quick and jump back to this chart for everyone to see. There hasn't been any time of stagnation. It's been nonstop, moving to the upside, little cool down period, move right back to the upside. And every single time it's been making new highs, new highs, new highs. And that 450 level, look to break that if we can continue to curl back up to the upside. Now let's take a look at AMC. Yesterday was bloody. It followed the Russell 2000, just complete sell-off, and just the markets overall yesterday. As you can see, monster sell-off going on at the end of the day. Today, right out of the gate, same thing. They continued their shorting. Iceberg Research even came out saying that they had added to their short position. We bounced off that 43.77, which there is a lot of support in that $43 range, and continue to move the upside. We are down about 30 cents, hanging around that $47 level. And it'll be interesting to see exactly where we close. Now let's take a look at the daily chart. And I want to talk about this for a moment. We did break this ascending pattern, this trend line that I had. And I didn't want to delete this because I always want to be transparent on exactly what I'm saying. But there's something even more important about what this chart is saying. If you look going back to all the way back in the middle of August, it was a little bit of green, a little bit of a coolback, and a curl. And the same thing, a little bit of a pullback and a curl. And we've been continuing to make this pattern while making higher lows. If you can see where the first one is around 33, we've got this one around that $39 level. We've got this one on the $43 level, and we've got this one around the 45 and change level. And as you can see, we did wick below and we did touch that 43, and change level, which there is a little bit of support all the way in here, which did act as resistance as previous, and more support. So you can see these lines all add up very, very strategically, and expect this curl to happen again. Now, if we break below that 43 level, if we get a solid break, a solid block, I'm not talking just a little candle wick intraday, I'm talking about a solid block on the daily chart, even on a 4-hour chart, because it shows a broader picture. If we get a solid break on that, then yeah, we are probably going to touch down to anywhere between that $43 and $40 range. But as of now, there's nothing to worry about. We touched it, we immediately came back up to that $47, $48 level. That 48 does have a lot of support. I know we're currently $1 beneath that, but like I said, we're intraday right now. So these trends are very, very short. Look at it at a much broader picture. It gives you it's so much stronger when you look at it, when they say, when in doubt, zoom out. It just gives you a much stronger picture of what's happening. If we can curl around to that, we're going to continue to do what we've been doing, making new highs, get back to the 50s and keep going strong. There is another thing that I do want to point out, and it has to do with the options chain, especially because we're going into the September 17th, which is a monthly expiration. It's also going to be another quad witching, so expect a lot of volatility to be happening. But like I said, they're going to try to test that $45 level because of that 21,000, call contracts in the money. If you go on the put side, we've covered this before. I'm going to cover it again. There is a lot of contracts that had come through recently, put contracts that had come through recently, but until then, there's so much out of the money because people had bought these way back in, June, July, and thought, oh, we're going to get down below that. We were at that $29 level coming into August. So just keep that in mind. But like I said, from a chart standpoint, we still do look strong, even though we did break above this trend line. Somebody did ask me about it and said, Jeff, what about that trend line you had? And I'm going to keep it up here just to see exactly what's happened. These are patterns I tend to break. Remember this bull flag I had up here that we broke to the downside on that. But just keep on that mind going forward. Nothing to worry about at all about what is happening today. Let the next 2 days play out to give us a better indication of what is happening. Okay, now let's get into some of the plays that we had today. Absolutely crushed it. Alibaba made a few bucks, which was awesome. Hut, which was a mining company, which had an offering. I don't think this ever got above 9, at least in the last time I checked. Didn't really play too much. IRNT got a few bucks out of this play. Immediately came out of the rip out of 27.50. I said it would get a $2 to $3 move. I think it got about $5. Former runner was TMC. I don't think it came above that, at least the last time I checked. Wynn Resorts, which absolutely got pummeled yesterday. I said it was already oversold, in my opinion. I think it gave us both sides, made some money on that one. Moderna, finally, I've been covering this one for so long. Somebody even reached out to me today and was like, Jeff, I finally understand what you see, or, talk about the range in Moderna and why it can literally be played every single day. This one was GREE, which was your SPRT merger. SPRT was a phenomenal play that ran all the way up from sub $10 all the way to $60. I caught a piece of that action, did nowhere near hit the valleys or the peaks like some people did. So shout out to you guys, but there was a lot of people continuing to hold this one through and just never really happened. I said it's descending heavily pre-market. If we got above 65, that might give room for some quick gains, break below 55. And it's pretty much just going to go all day. But there's one play I really want to talk about was INDP. And I want to explain to you exactly what I saw in it. This was the news this morning, and it came straight from MarketWatch. Notice of allowance from Patent Office. That was it. It wasn't a merger acquisition. It wasn't an approval of a new product or amazing new study results. Okay, it wasn't a huge deal signed with a major company. I mean, what I just listed there, that's big news. This was notice of allowance from Patent Office. And I said, if this rips above 1290, it'll get a quick move, to the upside, and it should hit some resistance. If it broke below 11, then it's just going to go all day because it's not strong news. Let's take a look at the charts, and I want to really dissect this for everybody. And as you can see, it's just been continually selling off. So first off, let me jump over to the daily chart. When I saw this, if you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this stock has ran before, and it has been 100% runners in a day before. And a lot of times when you see this, when it's happened before, it tends to happen again because traders will remember, oh, wait a minute, that's gone before, it's going to happen again. And when you have some knowledge behind trading, and this is why I'm sharing this with everybody, when you have some knowledge behind trading, when everybody comes together and says they have that same knowledge, that's why these stocks continue to go. So if you jump over to the 1-day minute chart, and this could have been played a million different ways. I made some money on this, not much at all. I had some internet troubles and I just did not want to get, caught on the wrong side of this. But I said, if it got above 1290, which it did pretty early on, it was just going to go. You could have purchased at 1290 and just continue to raise your stops all the way up and rode it to easily the $25, $26 range, making this a 100% play in a day. Absolutely. It continued to ride all the way up. I even had people that got into it early, got out of it, rode back down to 20 and said, listen, it's just going to continue to go again. I even shouted out eventually, if it's got above 2150, it's going to go again. As you can see, it went up here, came back. Naturally, it ran so much, tested it again and again. And eventually, as you can see right in here, I'll zoom in for you. There's a little bit of ascending, triangle coming in here. Eventually, it's just only so much knocking that can happen before it absolutely smashes through. So this play was absolutely phenomenal. Shout out to everybody who caught this. Like I said, I'm super excited because so many people in the group are starting to really understand exactly how some of these stocks move and making an absolute killing. So shout out to everybody because you caught it much more than I did. But that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.